Hi guys, and welcome to Bottom Airsoft. This is our first video. I'm just going to have a quick look through today what we're going to be looking at in our series of videos. I've never done these before, so hopefully you'll all come along on the journey with me. See if we can get them improved, get them better. So first of all, we're going to have a look at maintenance and working on your own guns. Because it can get pricey going to techs and things, so we'll try and do instructional videos of all the things that I've done with some of my riffs. We'll have a look at a few reviews. We're going to have a look at some gear. We'll have a look at riffs and everything in between. Say iPro, tools, pretty much everything that you end up buying with airsoft. It just get expensive, and our focus is really going to be on trying to make it a bit more of an affordable sport, something you can get into without spending oceans of money. We're going to look at some unboxings. We'll unbox new riffs. We'll do this one, but that'll be for another video. That's just come through, and we'll unbox that one, see what we think of the Spectre arms. It's the first one I've ever bought, so we'll have a look together, see what we think. Today I thought we'd start with a few things that you might need just as an intro. If you're going to be going along or following any of the tech that I do, or any of the maintenance that I do on my guns, upgrades, that type of thing, there's a few basic tools that you're going to need. Firstly, very important, is to get a decent set of screwdrivers. You need a selection of screwdrivers. I tend to like getting these little terminal screwdrivers and technical screwdrivers, as they call them. It's coming handy for moving shims about and getting in between spaces where you can't normally get. Some of the screws on some of the riffs can be quite small, such as the magazine catch. That can be quite a small one. Very important, get yourself a nice long screwdriver, especially if you're mainly working on M4 or AR-15 variants, because you've usually got to get down the buffer tube, and having a long Phillips head screwdriver, it comes in handy for taking those buffer tubes off. And obviously a selection of other screwdrivers for you to work with. Something that I find very handy is to have a set of grips. You might want to get a normal set of pliers. These bent needle nose pliers come in very handy, especially working on riffs, because there are some occasions where you need to get in there and you can't always get in there with a straight set, but get a straight set as well, and they'll do you fine. Very important when working on riffs is a decent set of Allen keys, or hex keys, whatever you want to call them. These pretty much are used for all sorts when taking apart our airsoft riffs. Usually for pins. Some of them are captive with an Allen key. Some of the riffs come with all Allen key or hex key heads. So a good set of those is very important. Now it's up to you whether you wanted to get a set of these, but I've found these invaluable. A set of punches. A lot of the riffs come apart with push pins. Sometimes they can be quite stiff, and a set of punches saves you damaging other tools that you have. You could use a hex key or an Allen key to push a pin out if you were at a push and you didn't have a set of these. But they're not very expensive, and they do come in handy. You usually get a kit. These are the most common ones I use on a riff, but you get lots of others in different sizes. So I'd recommend those. If you were wanting to buy anything specific for airsoft tools, especially when taking gearboxes apart, I find these Airtech Studios gearbox tools very handy. There's one for the trigger and one for the anti-reversal latch, and it can get a bit fiddly when you're trying to get the gearbox back together. If you have a stubborn gearbox with the anti-reversal latch likes to spring out. Doesn't always happen, but if it does, these clips, they're worth their weight in gold. They're about £12. They sometimes sell out quite fast, but for what they are, I found them really handy when I'm working on my guns. But again, not totally necessary. What I'll do in another video, I'll go through some of the additional tools that you might need, depending how far you want to go. If you're wanting to put Dean's connectors on, which we'll cover in another video, the different types of connectors, but the average airsoft riff comes with what I call mini Tamiya plugs, which aren't the best plugs. I tend to go to a Dean's connector, but you can use XTs. But again, we'll cover all the different connectors in another video. And you will need a soldering iron, maybe some cable strippers, but again, we'll go more in depth when we start doing the videos on different jobs that you want to do on your airsoft riffs. So those are the basic tools that I would recommend: a set of screwdrivers, a set of Allen keys, some terminal screwdrivers, and a set of pliers, preferably needle nose, get straight and bent, and you should be able to follow along with most of the things that I'm going to do on here. I might put a bit of gameplay, there might be a little bit of gameplay, because everything I review on here and everything we look at on here and every riff that we work on together, every one of them is going to be something that I own, and it's going to be something that I use in game. I play quite regularly. Obviously with the COVID-19 restrictions at the moment, I haven't been able to play as regularly as I like. But everything that I show on this channel is going to be something that I've used in the field, and something that has either been good or not so good. But I'll cover that, and we'll go through all that together. And hopefully in the next video we'll go a bit more in depth. We'll maybe unbox this Spectre, or we'll maybe do a full strip down video on how to strip down the average AR-15 riff to get to the gearbox. And then obviously we can do more in-depth videos of looking at the gearbox, taking the gearbox apart, and we'll get into upgrades and reviews of upgrades and that type of thing. But let me know in the comments what you prefer to see, whether you want more information on the tools we'll need first, or whether we just get straight into it and start taking things apart, or whether you want to see a few more reviews of things, and we'll start gradually that way. Alright, but thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, look out for my next video.